When you said the orange band is way harder, and I was like, I'll be fine. That was a bad choice.
Bad choice?
It's a bad choice. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we have a special guest star. This is my friend Kaylie, who is an amazing aerialist and just general superstar. And she's gonna show you some really great arm exercises for the elastic band. These are all things you can do at home really easily. They are things that will keep you in shape for aerial even if you don't have access to a rig right now. So I'll kick it over to Kaylie.
Okay.
Who's gonna probably make me cry with my arms working.
No, it'll be fine. That's alright. Hi, nice to meet you. So we're going to do some bands to keep our shoulders in good condition, and also if you're still working towards your chin-ups or your strengthening aerial, this is a good place to start because you can gradually build that strength in not just your shoulders but the muscles around it that are really important. Let's just get going. Let's start with the bands. We've got these bands from Decathlon. They're not very expensive. You've got the different numbers. You can equally also use the stretchy rubber TheraBands. Many other bands are adaptable. Keep mindful, if something feels wrong, stop, reset. So it's always best to do a little less and then progress up to more resistance. More resistance would obviously mean go down the band lower, you get more resistance. Obviously, if you need to start with bands that are a little bit more stretchy, I advise that too. And let's just get going. So we're just put our hands towards the edge of our band. We're just going to go around our shoulders, just warm up those shoulders. I would recommend having already done a slight yoga warm up or some roll downs through the spine prior to doing this. I tend to do this after doing cardio, after the abs. I try to do this after I've done other parts of my body and my joints, and then I move on to my shoulders. Obviously everyone has their preference. You want to make sure the body is already warm up. So we'll assume you already did that. First up, hands wide, and you're just going to pull back. For this, I want you to think, always, grounding into the floor, heels down into the floor, knees over the toes, toes parallel. You want a slight bend in the knee so that you've got a long spine. You don't want to be arching or stood like this or anything. You want to be nice and tucked and arched. Keep that ab and that core supporting. Although this is an easy exercise, it's good to just make sure you do have that correct posture. We're going to just open out and you're going to try and think about engaging your lats, the shoulder blades, all the muscles in your back. So it's not just your arms doing this, and nothing else should be moving. No ribs popping in and out, everything nice and still. You're just thinking about what muscles you're using and trying to always be mindful about which part of your back or your shoulder is working here. We'll do 10 pulses like that, and we'll release. Put number 1, if you have the numbered bands, over your right foot. That's it. From here, you're going to put your hand, say at number 5, depending on your height and your strength. You're going to roll that shoulder back and down, tuck the ribs, connection between the hips and the ribs, and just going to roll the shoulder back. If you're not feeling much resistance here and you want a little bit more, you just take the number down one. And we're just going to roll that. Again, just mindfully trying to keep aware of keeping the rest of your body still. Keep the elbows straight for this one. We'll do some others with bent elbows later. That's it. And we'll release that. Next exercise. Keep it stretched. I'd say keep it on around number 5. Again, find that position like earlier with the alignment, slight bend in the knee, slight tuck, straight back. And we're going to now just go into bicep curls. So, choice here. Cara's got slightly higher and therefore she's going higher. If you're feeling that, that's perfectly fine. If you want more resistance, but you can't go as high, give that a go. Just don't be losing form here or letting the shoulder roll down and forwards. Try and keep everything rolled back. You keep using the back to support the arm. It's never working completely on its own. It's always supported by your core and by your back. I'm going to do everything in sets of 10. Obviously pause the video because you will need to do this all on the other side. And if you need to do a double set or a triple set, like do 3 sets of 10, go for it. See what's right for you, but I would say sets of 10, minimum 2 sets if you can. We're now going to do bicep curls out to the side. So remember that posture, that alignment, and we're going to just lift up to the side and down. Again, to think about taking your shoulders back, rolling back and down into your body. If you need to reset that, stop, reset, and then go again. I would recommend do all the exercises on the right and then do all the exercises on the left.
Like all the way through.
All the way through until when I say this, because then you don't have to keep changing that foot, so you don't lose time. So for this one, you might want to take it up to a 6 or a 7. For this one, a little bit less resistance, because we're going to, again, shoulders back and down, squeeze those lats, support here, take your shoulders back, chest out without sticking your ribs out, and you're going to just row up and down. I'm going to try and keep that shoulder down, so we're not rowing like this. We are rowing, keeping the shoulder down, we're trying to bring the elbow up in line with the shoulder, and bringing the lower arm up to around your boobs, and come down. Try and always resist on the way back down. Excellent, and try and work with your breath. So I like to breathe out when I'm doing the hard movement, and in on the way back down.
This is a lot of coordination.
Yeah. There you go. Again, we'll do 10 on each side. I'd say you need to do 1 set if you're feeling 2 of that one.
The nice thing about doing these kind of things at home is like you can do a set and then take like a half-hour break and then come back to it way later.
Exactly. Go with the flow, change the song, whatever you need to do. So. We're going to bend the knees. You're going to come over in a flat back. You want to try a nice flat back as possible. Suck that belly button into the spine. From here, I'll do it the other way so you can see my actual arm. So you're going to, from here, row up, keep that elbow back and in pinned next to your body. So my elbow is not coming out to the side for this one, it's coming in next to the side of my body. And I'm rowing inwards, keeping the elbow back, again thinking about using the shoulder in the back and supporting with my abs, and coming back down. That's it. Excellent. Once you've done 10 of those, you're going to progress from here. You're going to do the same as earlier, but then you're going to straighten that elbow back. And now we're working the triceps. We're going to try and get that arm straight. If it is too much here, go up one even higher. We've done the row, so that's fine. We want to really focus now on that tricep coming back. So you're going to go row, and you're going to go bend back. From here, you're going to plie the elbow in, and then come back to where it was. Then come back. So just the lower arm moving, and then back down to the row. In and out, nice shape, supported. Pulling into the row, elbow back. Back to the straight arm, pulse it up. Bend it in, keeping it up, so we're keeping that up at the side, so we're keeping like that. Let's show that. That's it, come back to straight, bend it back to the front and come back down. Again, you want to aim for 10 on each side. Do just as many on the left as you did on the right. Very important, because we don't want to be one-armed.
Just pulls you down.
No one has one strong arm and no strong hand. Aha, this one is where being taught might be a challenge. We're going to change foot now. The reason being is that we've done everything on the right, so we're going to keep working that right arm, and then we're going to go back to the beginning on the left, but we've got our foot already in place. So from here, take it back into your right arm again, left foot. You're going to come one foot in front of the other. We're going to lunge down. Make sure you've got your knee over your ankle. You've got as much of a right angle as possible. We're not coming too far forwards. So we've got a knee over, just to show that here. Right angle, 2 right angles. This is just bonus extra, you get a bit of a leg workout. Reason being, the band might be a little bit short for some people. So we'll, hey girl. From here, we're going to first do it with bent arms. Just get your other hand out of the way on your hip. We're just going to row up to the side and come back down. And we're going to row. If this is too easy, there's not enough resistance, just like earlier, take it down a notch. And try again. Just remember to keep that forward, to keep the shoulders back and down, keep the abs engaged. Squeeze your thighs and let your arm do its work. Again, aim for 10 of those. So, coming out to the side. You're just going to try and open out and come back down. This might be harder for you on this band. Then coming out to the side and down. To make it easier for yourself on your arm, you could come down to a lower lunge. Obviously that's harder on the legs. Hey, double whammy. So give that one a try. Just going to come up to the side and down. So this one is really important. Use those lat muscles, the muscles here, shoulder back and down. You really want to support it here because you've got these little tiny muscles that you don't want to be taking on too much weight. Sky punch. We're going to punch the sky. So you come back to that big fat lunge. Try and bring your arm up to a right angle. Again, shoulder back and down. Keep that hand, the fist and the lower arm up to the sky, vertical. You're going to just punch the sky and come back down. Punch the sky, come back down. Try and resist that. It's going to want to bring you forwards. You're going to try and resist that. But again, using that shoulder roll back and down, use the lats. Try not overload up this front part of your shoulder. So you can go back to the beginning, up to this point, doing all the exercises so far on the other side. Try and have made a note, you'll feel it probably, what number you had of resistance if you're using the numbered bands. If you're using a regular TheraBand, try and take it roughly the same height you did earlier. We're going to try and aim to have our shoulders even. If we do have one that is slightly weaker, we can always do an extra set on that arm. But we're going to take it back to the beginning, back to the shoulder rolls, back to everything we've done so far from the top up to here. And then obviously you have the last two exercises where you change the foot over to the right using the left arm for those lunge rows.
I'll put in the description every exercise with the timestamp of when it happens. So if you need to review, you can go look at the description and find the exercise you're looking for.
Organised! We did a little bit of triceps earlier on when we were here. Now we're going to take the band around the back of our head. So you're going to have one hand in the loop. The other comes round the back. So you're getting yourself into a regular, like you would with light weights position, where you've got your arm bent like this next to your head, hand coming down back to the middle of the back behind your head. You're going to take that the band with your other spare hand. Again, just try and think of rolling those shoulders back and in. Try and keep those ribs from sticking out. And you're just going to do a tricep curl. If you're not feeling enough resistance, walk your back hand higher up and try and keep that in place and put it down. Work nice and slowly, nice and controlled. Try not to let this elbow wobble out all over the place, like I probably did then when I was talking. And just try and get straight up. Try and keep the shoulder down and away from the ear as well. So, moving on to the last section. I'll power through this. This one was given to me by a physio. It's a very small exercise. You can do this with a light weight or with your band. You just want to hold some resistance in your band. Not too much, just enough. This arm's just keeping the resistance, and this one is going to just pull the shoulder out and come back in again. Resist. Pull it out, come back to just the kind of like halfway through your bum cheek. You're not going high, we're not doing a side exercise, it's literally just this. 10 of those on each side. Very mindful, very minute exercise. It's just to protect the rotator cuff. This last section is all about rotator cuffs. If you are using a heavier band, I would suggest now getting a lighter band or using the edges and having less resistance. You don't want to overload your rotator cuffs. First little rotator cuff exercise, we're going to go right to the edge of the band, even if it doesn't feel like a lot, just to sort of really make sure they're warmed up. This should be after having done the other exercises, you've prepared the rest of your shoulder, so now you can work on your rotator cuff. And we're just going to pulse backwards. And you can do 20 pulses here. I'm just going to pulse, you're going to try and keep your elbows in. We don't want too much resistance, it's kind of just little pulses to check in. And you really want to think about using here and here for all of this. Next exercise. We're going to use the reformer in the studio that we are borrowing.
Beautiful studio corpus in Paris.
That's in Paris. If you want to do some Pilates reformer, she's your girl. I'm going to just use this as a pillar. If you don't have a pillar, I'll give you an option. If you can find something solid as a pillar that's not going to move, here are some exercises for you. First one. You're going to wrap it up as high as you can. Obviously, it's going to want to come down. If you've got something that's going to block it, aim to have it slightly higher. You're going to walk in a little bit tighter towards your pillar. And you're going to pulse your arms back. You're going to do 2 small ones and 1 big one. You go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I've got both arms straight, or straight as they can be. And I'm really concentrating on using my lats and the back of my shoulders. And if you don't have the pillar, that first one, if you don't have the pillar, it's kind of really difficult. You could do one arm at a time.
Remember that husbands and boyfriends can be pillars.
So use them and wrap it around his neck. Good suggestion, Cara. Yes, and if not, you can use the wall, you can use a chair, you can improvise. You want to try and get it to be at a slightly higher angle though than your arm. Do what you can. The next one, I'm going to give you the version without the pillar first. So this one, again, one arm is just acting as a pillar, resisting for you. And this hand is in the strap. It's going to open out wide to the side, staying at a right angle and staying glued into your hip, into your waist even. So you're going to open and close, open and close. This with a pillar would look like this. You use the other hand to just resist, and this will open and close. This one, ideally, the band should be in line. I'm doing what I can as well. So you want to open to the side, control, try and get it to go right out to the side and back in. If you're not able to go all the way out, loosen up some resistance in that band, give yourself some space, and you're just going to open out and come back in. You can also do the same exercise going the other way, meaning that I could switch hands and be pulling my arm in and working this muscle. So again, keeping the elbow in, glued to my waist, and I'm just coming across the body and back out again. Trying to resist. I'm using the other hand to just resist. Final one. Again, this one is much more ideal for pillar. So you're going to now take it behind you, roughly around head height behind you. You want to aim to be like this, 2 right angles. Goal is to bring the forearms flat. So again, if you look at me from the sky, I look square. Yes, so it all stays in square right angles. You've got a square here, you've got a square here. And you're just going to pull the arms down and then come back up again. And down and back up. You might need a lighter resistance band. It's good to have options. You don't want to overload these little tiny muscles. There you go. This one without a band. You can go behind the back of your shoulders. It's not quite the same resistance, but it's better than nothing. So I've just gone around the back of under my armpits and around the back of where my bra strap is, or just above there. I've kept that same right angle and I'm just coming up and down. It's a little bit less intense, and you've really got to think about keeping that control. All of these can be done as well with light weights, the little wrist weights or really light dumbbells, but especially these last ones, keep them to like 1 kilo, keep them really light.
So now you've got some fun exercises you can do at home. Thank you so much, Kaylee.
Thank you.
She showed me these about 3 weeks ago, and I've been doing them every day that I train, and I already have a huge difference in my arm strength. So these are really, really great.
Thank you.
Don't forget to check out my channel and subscribe, because I've got lots of aerial tutorials and aerial choreography and performances. I actually have all the performances from a gig that Kaylee got me a couple years ago. So she's brought you that as well. She's brought you like half this channel behind the scenes.
Wow!
So make sure you check it out and subscribe and like and comment and all that YouTube stuff, and I will see you next time.